Hello, happy whatever day it is you're watching this. Already off to a good start. I hope you're having a good day. My name is Sam Basher.
I'm DJ Wooldridge.
Welcome to Only Stupid Answers, and today we're talking about Invisible Man. Ooh, the Invisible Man.
The Invisible Man.
2020.
Yes.
Everyone's got to tweak that out. It's going to be in the title right there.
Yeah.
2020. Don't get it confused. Yes, full disclosure, I was very excited for this movie, and Universal was nice enough to invite us out to a screening. And I don't know if you guys know this, but LA recently got an Alamo Drafthouse Cinema, and they started hosting press things there. And we will never let this sway us. We won't let this change our opinion.
Yes.
But if you're listening out there, please, all studios fight. Bicker. Who can get the Alamo Drafthouse?
Yes.
Ah, it's so good.
It's such a great venue. If you're in LA or any other place like Austin, Texas that has an Alamo, we highly recommend going and checking it out.
And also kind of throwing it out there, the director of The Invisible Man, Leigh Whannell, did show up, and we did get to talk to him, and he did. He was a very nice man.
Yeah.
But with it, well, only to get you so far, man. We're not judging you. We are judging your work.
Yeah.
All right? Just want to get that out there. Thank you. But you can't buy us. All right, let's go ahead and kick it off.
Unless you want to try.
You can try.
If you want to try, everybody's all like, how much did Disney pay you to that? I mean, if they want to, I'm not going to turn the money down. They haven't yet.
But even aside from that, could you imagine if you got approached by someone like that and was like, we'll give you $50. $50? Are you serious?
I mean, you got it. Let's do it. But anyway.
Too much integrity here, clearly. Let's kick it off. Now, this movie, like we said, was directed and written by Leigh Whannell, actually adapted by the H.G. Wells original story, and stars Elisabeth Moss, Oliver Jackson-Cohen, Aldis Hodge, and oh my God, Aldis, my dude.
Yeah.
Your triceps are bananas. There's a move where he goes like this, where he leans on like a bed. And
you make it sound like he's literally just leaning on something.
No, he's doing something. You know when like when you like cross your arms and you kind of flex your biceps a little bit?
Uh-huh.
Everybody does it. It happens. Quickie synopsis for those of you who don't know what The Invisible Man's about.
Yeah.
When Cecilia's abusive ex takes his own life and leaves her his fortune, she suspects his death was a hoax. As a series of coincidences turn lethal, Cecilia works to prove that she is being hunted by somebody no one can see. Mm-hmm. That was actually IMDb. That's a good one.
Succinct and on top of it. So I think if anybody's seen the trailer for the movie, they know that the direction that this kind of takes is the idea that what if the Invisible Man was the worst ex ever? And I think it's a really smart direction to take because I've really appreciated there's been a resurgence in horror of trying to ground the more heightened elements with more relatable and real life horrors, you know what I mean? And it's also interesting that most of the adaptations of H.G. Wells' Invisible Man usually follow the Invisible Man as either an anti-hero or a villain protagonist. This is not that. He is 100% the antagonist of the
monster.
movie. Yeah, and this is Elisabeth Moss's movie! !
Oh my God! And I think it does help because like plenty of horror movies, instead of focusing on the monster, they focus on like the lead. Of course, that's how all horror movies work. But there's a specific way that it goes about discuss or the focus that it really puts on Elisabeth Moss specifically, where throughout this movie, we really don't even know what this guy looks like. Yeah. We know because we saw the casting and we've seen Haunting of Hill House and this guy kills it.
Yeah. But it's very smart.
So it's more to focus on her and how she's dealing with this outside force.
Yeah, it's very smart in that it takes the concept of Invisible Man and uses that idea of absence to, like, there's shots of just empty halls. And I like that it happens even before quote unquote supernatural things start happening in the movie, because we know we're in a movie called The Invisible Man. Mm-hmm. And so when there's just shot down the hallway, you're like, oh no. Like, you know what I mean? And then and I like that even the music reacts as if something's happening. The movie is behaving as if there's a subject there, but there isn't. Mm-mm. And I also think it's very smart if anybody's seen Leigh Whannell's previous movie Upgrade, which I highly recommend checking out. I think you can rent it anywhere. Videos.
What I've heard is there was, I think it could have been like a Screen Junkies Honest Trailers where they kind of equated Upgrade to like the mechanics you wanted to see in Venom, but Upgrade does it in like a really crazy cool way, in a very original way. Watch the trailer; it will blow your socks off.
Yeah, but it uses the camera in unique ways to convey what that story's telling, which is a story about AI. And this movie kind of steps it up even more to the point where, like, we were talking about Hollow Man and other previous Invisible Mans, where it's like Predator vision. Like, there's the little ripple. And this one, when it's invisible, it's invisible. There's nothing there, which makes it even more, because the audience is in it on it. Now we're in the position of Elisabeth Moss, like, oh, man, I don't know.
The smallest things you get is, I think, is seeing his breath when it's cold outside, or seeing a footstep on something, like the indent, or you hear him sit down, and that was one of my favorite sound things, where it's like, oh, we all know that sound, but in a scene where you see someone sit down, you're not focusing on what you're hearing, you're just focusing on the fact that he's there. There's a subject there. But when you can hear someone sit down in a room in a loud chair, and you're like, I'm being watched. There's a lot of elements when they get into explaining what it is. Keeping it as vague as I can, because when you find out what it is, it's a good mix of, like, I don't not believe in what I'm looking at right now, but it is a good mix of, like, technologically advanced and kind of deeply psychologically upsetting when you look at it. Besides that, even like those moments are pretty small in the movie, because it's really about it. It's also titled, this movie's kind of titled Gaslighting the Movie, where it's just like a man is secretly manipulating this woman and making everyone not believe her whatsoever, even her own loved ones. But Leigh Whannell, I think, gets an amazing performance out of Elisabeth Moss, but also the entire cast. But also, as we were, after the movie, we were able to kind of talk to him a little bit, and he talked about how we see the house, the director Leigh Whannell, we were able to see the house that this character lived in, and in scenes where that no one's talking, you're able to understand a lot about who this person is based on, like, the security systems built into the house, or how lavish it is, or how it feels more like a museum than it does a home. And that's probably for a good reason. Or there's windows everywhere where it feels more not like you're trying to see the scenery, you're trying to keep an eye out for something. And there's an instant sense of paranoia, not just from the character, but from yourself, where you're like, well, I know the title of the movie, so is he already invisible? I mean, I can see him right there, but, like, is he still in the room? I don't know. But yes, I think the supporting cast, specifically Aldis Hodge and Storm Reid, if you saw Wrinkle in Time, she was the lead in that. They did a really good job building kind of like a proto-family that was able to be there for Elisabeth Moss, that I really dug, as well as Michael Dorman, because he plays the brother to
the Invisible Man.
The Invisible Man. But when it does get into the horror movie action, it kicks a whole lot of ass.
Well, yeah, talking about upgrade, again, just taking that idea of what a conflict would look like with one of the parties being invisible.
It feels like a CG scene not fully realized. Like you deleted Thanos out of Avengers Infinity War, and you just see Cap just throwing shields at nothing.
Yeah, which makes it sound like it's a bad thing, but it's not.
No, it's not the way that they film it. They make it cool as hell.
You know, and scary because if you're trying to fight somebody that you can't see, and again, since there's no clue to the audience is also in the position of not seeing that. It's not like the audience knows something that the rest of the characters don't. We also can't see him, and also in some ways it functions like a ghost story, in that idea of this unseen force that you thought was gone, haunting you past when they're supposed to be gone. You know what I mean? And also going back to that idea of surveillance and being watched. I think they do a smart job of cutting to, like, security camera footage to like drive home the idea that, like, even without this heightened context, we're all kind of being watched all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I think it does a smart job structuring its story and also touching on exploring other aspects of this idea and fully exploiting the concept of the Invisible Man. And from what I understand, this is kind of an outgrowth of the conversations and the failures of Dark Universe. And if, Universal's teaming up with Blumhouse to, like, do these kind of versions, and it's like, if this is what we can expect from that relationship, I would like more of this, because it does do a good job of being an entertaining, kick-ass, exciting genre movie, while also being genuinely scary and modernizing the core concepts of this classic character in a way that's interesting and unique and inventive.
And speaking of Blumhouse, it was nice to hear that they were working on this movie, because famously they don't really give filmmakers and creators the biggest budget. But when I heard what the premise of this movie was, where it was focusing on the victim, not on the monster, immediately you're like, oh my God, you can really use the budget in smart ways if you want to, because you don't have to show, like, goopy, clear, like translucent figure walking down the stairs. You can literally just not show anything, and you can just have someone who can act the crap out of a scene, Elisabeth Moss, and you're able to fully get into her headspace and feel the same way that she is feeling.
Yeah.
And so that's why when I heard they were behind this, I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. And I fully agree with you. If they did want to take a swing at other properties that Universal has, other monsters, or if you want to,
are you going to team them up? Who cares? Just do movies like this.
Yeah, I mean, Blumhouse, you got a pretty good track record overall.
Yeah.
There's we remember your wins more than the losses.
Yeah, and also I gotta say, like, it's funny to think about all the people, the kind of obscure directors that have been plucked from that and given like big franchises and stuff like that. It's like this is the second time Leigh Whannell's been given a very limited budget and done incredible things with it. And it's like, somebody give this guy a call. Like, come on. Like, he's ready for the big time. You know what I mean?
I mean, I was throwing out, like, when we were walking out of the theater last night, I was like, oh, like a Kung Fu movie would be really cool because the way he's able to work with his stunt team and his camera operators, the camera becomes another element of the action happening in the scene. And when it's done really well, it's a real treat. And when it's done poorly, it's awful. Watch a Transformers movie.
But this is done really well.
Very, very well. So, wrap it up.
Yes.
I want to give this movie, honestly, like a 9 out of 10. I genuinely... There's like, as I was driving home with my girlfriend, we were trying to like talk about like, what about this? Like the one thing I'll say is she's a bad dog owner. But like besides that, like the nitpicks feel like mechanics that do work within the world that they set up.
Yeah.
That like, we'd be like, well, why doesn't that work? It's like, well, I think Leigh Whannell kind of did enough that everything functions as is in this little bubble. Yeah. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. My only real concern is there's a couple times when, as she's being isolated from the people that care about her, some of the characters go from like being genuinely very close to this person to completely not trusting her in a surprisingly quick fashion. And it's not enough. It's just like when you hit a little speed. It's not like you hit a full-on pothole and like the tire. It's just like, oh, a little bump. You know, a little bump.
You've never seen a Final Destination movie.
No, dang. No, but so I agreed. I definitely give this like high B, like high B plus, like highly recommend. I know like traditionally January and February are kind of like dumping grounds, and I got to be honest, a few of our earlier movies this year have been fine. They've been fine, but between Birds of Prey and this, there's like a genuine upswing to like really enjoyable movies. So especially if you're like, I know there's a surprisingly a lot amount of horror movies coming out like right now. See this one. This is a good one to go see.
I very much agree with you. Honestly, like I can't wait to see it again, and I genuinely want to take people to go see it in the theater because you can watch it at home, of course, and it's still going to be just as scary, but you want like surround sound because you really want to feel the silence, and the movie does a really good job capturing that with the score, the sound mixing, and from the performances of these people. So please go see this movie. And if you have seen it, let us know in the comments down below. There is no Rotten Tomato score as of right now because we got in early, baby.
Oh, yeah.
So quick thank you to Universal once again. We saw you guys were really nice to us, but way to be honest with you, you made a good movie. You should be proud of it. Yeah. So please, let us know what you thought. Follow me at Sam Basher on Twitter.
At TJ Talks Trash.
At Only Stupid Answers.
You got the vowels from stupid.
Subscribe, like, and watch our reviews for Harley Quinn, the animated series, because that's a whole ball of laughs. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.